Hey, Chris Cathers here. Today we're discussing risk management for service providers. Risk management is more than just security tools and compliance checklists. It's really about understanding those threats, anticipating risks, making strategic decisions that align cybersecurity with business goals. What is risk management? Risk management is the process of identifying, assessing, and mitigating risks to minimize their impact on the organization. As service providers, this means translating security risks into real business terms, understanding downtime, revenue goals, reputation damage, being able to communicate that effectively with leadership and work together to understand what's at stake. When we're talking about risk, we're really talking about two different types. There's inherent risk, which is really that risk that exists without or with the lack of controls in place. And then there's residual risk. So what remains after we've put mitigation efforts in place. And really what we're trying to do through risk management is reduce risk to acceptable levels while balancing security cost and business operations, which really paints us that picture of what is that residual risk remaining. I'll give you an example. So unpatched vulnerability poses inherently high risk. By applying security controls, automated patching, endpoint protection, segmentation, et cetera, we lower that risk. Can we eliminate it completely? Absolutely not. But by putting and layering those controls in place, the idea is that we're taking risk to that acceptable level across the organization. Our role as service providers in risk management, just as I mentioned, it's really about bridging that gap between security teams and business leaders. You know, we don't have those large enterprise teams that are dedicated to security and risk. So we want to play that role in being able to consolidate that as a service provider and ultimately assess compliance, cybersecurity, operational risks, make sure that we're aligning security with business risk tolerance, that we're communicating risk decisions to leadership, that we're implementing practical measures to balance protection and usability, and all while fostering a risk-aware culture across the organization. So there's a difference between risk management and compliance. If we think about compliance and how that really is there to ensure that we're meeting some legal or regulatory requirement. Risk management may be a part of that, but it's very focused on that specific compliance initiative. Whereas when we talk about risk management as a whole, we're looking at it across the organization. We may not be meeting the letter of that compliance initiative when we're tackling risk management. But we are reducing risk to an acceptable level in the organization. But the reality is we want to make sure that we're going beyond checklists, that we're helping the business stay ahead of, that we're communicating to the business the risks that exist, right? The threat landscape is changing at a constant. We want to make sure that we're staying ahead of that and communicating that effectively to the business so that those decisions can be made.